Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a new edition of Snekflix for the first time in kind of a while. Well, that's okay, because this time I'm talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie 2023. I do kind of feel like I need to make that differentiation, but yes, we're talking about the new one from Illumination Studios. This is going to be a spoiler-free review, and I'll get to the why of that a little bit later. So let's start with the TLDR. Is it good? Yes. Yes, it absolutely is. Is it perfect? No. But it's great. Way, way, way better than I feared that it could have ended up being, given that Shigeru Miyamoto hates stories, and Illumination oftentimes struggles with stories all their own. So, to begin with, let's talk about Illumination's strong suit, which is the animation, because the animation is gorgeous. There is so much happening in every single shot, and there are so many blink and you'll miss it background references. It is crazy how much stuff they have packed into this movie, and the eagle-eyed observer will definitely catch a lot of it. I've only seen it once so far. I feel like I need to watch it again to try to find everything else. Like right out of the gate, you'll see a bunch of references to like Punch Out. You see Mario actually plays Kid Icarus on screen at one point. That was pretty funny. That got a good laugh out of me. And little things like that. And it's all throughout the movie. Like the hammer from Donkey Kong shows up at one point just in the background. So I was like, nice. Nicely done. Next, let's touch on the music, because this movie does right what I would argue the Sonic films did consistently incorrectly by basically Sonic never utilized the game's soundtrack except for like one Easter egg in Sonic 2. This movie revels in the Nintendo original themes, and there are several remixes and reuses and really clever segues and ways to plug in those songs. Now, not all of them are Nintendo. Some of them are pre-existing songs, like Take On Me by Aha pops in at one point, and apparently it replaced a song that was an original. I don't fully understand what's going on with that, but a friend mentioned that to me, so I thought I'd mention it. So it's not all just songs from Mario games, but I will tell you a fun one. They actually used a sample from the Donkey Kong 64 rap song. So that was good fun. I got a good laugh out of that. There are lots of little subtle references like that throughout the film. And if you're already a fan of this franchise, you will find a lot of little references and jokes, but those little references don't take away from the viewing experience for someone who's seeing it for the first time. They will still appreciate the movie for what the movie is, as it presents itself really, really fluidly. Oh, and speaking of sound, the voice cast overall does a great job. A lot of people had concerns with Chris Pratt. He absolutely nails it. It's very clear he's going outside of his comfort zone in this film, and his voice does peak one or two times, as I recall, throughout the film, but he does a really great job. And Charlie Day nails it. He is perfect as Luigi. And really, the two of them together kind of took me back to like the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, where they kind of had the slightly deeper voices for them. And I think it's fitting for the characters. It works. And of course, Charles Martinet gets to show up as Mario's father. Yeah, we get to see Mario and Luigi's family. And it is every bit as stereotypical Italian-American as you can imagine it is. It's actually really funny, but handled really well at the same time. So good on you guys. Jack Black is clearly loving being Bowser. He even gets to sing, and it is, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's amazing when it happens. You'll love it, I'm sure. Because I did. I loved seeing that. And Anya Taylor-Joy does a good adventurous Peach. And that's another thing I should mention about Peach, because a lot of people were afraid that Peach would basically become this really obnoxious know-it-all girl boss character. She doesn't. She doesn't, actually. She is a brave and competent person without being overwhelming. And at the same time, she also has a human depth and warmth to her. More on this in a minute, because there is one voice actor who just did nothing for me, and that would be Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, because he's just talking. He's not doing a voice or even really getting in character. He's just talking. Like, it's just Seth Rogen reading the script. And yeah, he's like the one person I was like, yeah, that's acting. that's not a character being in character. That's Seth Rogen under delivering, because it's Seth Rogen's. That's pretty much on brand. Future tense warning, cough. cough, cough. But that's neither here nor there. So back to the movie's credit, there was a lot of things to be impressed with, both from a production and a story standpoint. There were at least 2 moments in the film where I was like, oh, okay, here it comes. We have to have that obligatory Minions-esque fart joke time. And they didn't do it. They never did. There was one moment in particular, mid to late part of the film, where I was like, yeah, this is absolutely going to be a fart joke. And they didn't. They rose above. So, hey, way to go, Illumination. Way to go, everyone on staff. You guys exceeded expectations. Maybe there's hope for you yet. This is like the biggest launch that Illumination has literally ever had. I think by like double what their last record holder was. So, yeah. And like I said, there are bits of the film where there's genuine character warmth. And that was actually one of my favorite things. And honestly, if anything, I kind of wish the movie had more of that. Like an example that happens very early in the film is when Luigi gets captured, because Luigi gets captured, spoiler, I guess, that was in all the trailers, so I assume you know that. Luigi gets captured, and he has this moment where he flashes back to when him and Mario are babies. So yeah, you just see baby Mario and baby Luigi. It's super cute. And it has this moment where it's like he's reflecting on Mario's always brave and always capable, and he's always kind of been the more timid and reserved of the two. I loved that. I love that. And other characters get some moments like that too. And I wish there was more of that. Because once you get past like the first 10, maybe 15 minutes, it becomes just a roller coaster ride. And it's action comedy all the way down. And in some ways, that's to the movie's credit. Because it's a lot like a Mario game in that respect. In fact, there are several scenes shot in a 2D perspective specifically to reflect that kind of action, that dynamic scrolling camera. Things are constantly happening, coming on screen, going off screen. Mario's reacting to all of them. And it's really, really fluid and organic. And I actually love the way those scenes are executed. So yeah, if I delve too much more, I'm going to get too nitpicky and specific. So in short, it's a great film. I'd say easily B+, A- territory. Absolutely worth cost of admission. My only real complaint is, like I said, I wish there was a few more times where things could slow down the tiniest little bit, and the characters would have a little bit more one-on-one time and learn about each other and kind of flesh out who they are as characters. And before anyone even asks, yes, there is a post-credit scene and there is a post-credit scene. So whether it's worth it to you to see it or not depends on how much you love the Mario games. Because if you do, you'll want to see it. Because I know for me, I was excited. I was really, really hyped for it. And if you're not, if you're just kind of lukewarm, you're just looking for a fun thing to entertain your kid or your nephew or niece or what have you, then yeah, don't worry about it too much. They're not super long. And the first one happens right after the first little animated leg of the credits. So it's fine. But yeah, this is just a really solid adventure movie. Why I'm not really bothering with spoilers. The only real spoilers I could even say plot-wise are like what power-ups show up. And I'm not going to say which ones, but it's a good cross-section from across several different games. So movie is solid. And I had so much fun watching it. I do want to see it again before it leaves theaters, or at the worst case scenario, I'll pick it up on DVD after the fact. So the Snek's final rating is go see it, enjoy it, and they're almost certainly going to make a sequel with how much money this thing made. So let's hope that the sequel is this, but bigger and better and more. And I hope that they seriously take into consideration those character moments and really try to have a lot of heart and soul in these very plot-light games. So this is the Hipster Snek. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Snekflix, and I will see you guys next time.